Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. My name is Abhijit Baduri. I work in the field of talent management, and I am your podcast host today. With me today is Mr. Mayank Rotella, who is the CHRO for Apollo Hospitals. You can see Apollo Hospitals written nice and bright right behind Mayank. Mayank, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us today. Mayank, love to know a little about Apollo Hospitals and tell me about the role. How large is the HR function?
Thanks, Abhijit. Thanks for inviting me for your podcast. It's a pleasure. I would say it's an honor. As young management professionals, we've grown up listening to you, reading about your views. You've been a thought leader, so it's a great pleasure to be here today. Apollo Hospitals is by we are the pioneers of modern healthcare in India. Started in 1983 by our legendary leader, Dr. Pratap C. Reddy, and then taken it forward by his daughters, and also now the third generation of entrepreneurs are in the business to run the hospitals. We are by far the largest also in the country. We have about 70 hospitals.
Wow.
We employ 50,000 employees, which includes close to 10,000 doctors. And when I say doctors, these are MBBS and above doctors. So out of the 10,000, probably about 7,000 will be postgraduate doctors. So right from a housekeeping attendant to a senior consultant is the span of the HR function. So it's very, very interesting, very engaging, because every day, I would say every hour is a new hour for us in this industry. We are growing fast, and we'll be adding five new hospitals in 12 months and another 2,000 beds, which would mean another 5,000 employees joining the Apollo family in the near future.
That's an amazing description of the size and complexity of your role. I'm today going to focus on the Pink Book Initiative. I'm actually quite intrigued by the name. And tell me about what got you started on this. Was there a triggering incident? Was there a thought process? How did it evolve? Walk me through that journey.
Hospital ecosystem, more 50% of our employees are women employees. That primarily because of our nursing workforce, who are primarily women. About 80% or above nurses are women. So that is the bedrock on which our employee ecosystem rests. And also an organization which is led by very visionary and able women leaders. Right? So as all of you know, our entire board constitutes of our women leaders. So since women's safety is talked about, emphasized, and driven at almost every management talk or management meeting. So we have various policies. We always had the POSH policy, the whistleblower policy, the ethics committees we have in our units. However, we wanted to create something more simple, something which a nurse can pick up and read and understand what is it that the hospitals are offering for my safety, even before she joins Apollo or when she joins Apollo. And of course, it's a ready reckoner for various departments to implement, whether it is HR, security, medical services, nursing, biomedical, so on and so forth. And this Pink Book has been created by a joint effort of the medical services team, of the HR team, of the team. And as you would see, it's branded very well. It's in a pictorial way we have presented the measures that we want to implement in our. Hence, a lot of input and help has come from our branding and marketing team as well. And of course, it was then led and pioneered by our joint managing director, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, and we launched it on our 41st anniversary of our Chennai hospital in September of 2024. And now we are wanting to re-emphasize and in a way spread its wings beyond Apollo and re-emphasize and launch it during the upcoming Women's Day on the 8th of March.
That's such a terrific initiative that you have. The first thought that comes to my mind is, are you able to do it because you have 50% women, which is not something that not many organizations can claim. Also, your board is predominantly led by women. Is that the reason why this got so much of prominence?
saying even if the percentage of women employees were lesser, for example, if you look at, say, our corporate office, where the percentage of women employees would be only 20%, but we will give equal importance to implement it in that environment as well. It's not that it is only being done for women employees. But yes, it is more important in a hospital setup because we are a 24/7 industry. Most employees are patient interfacing, so the safety network, not just within employees, but with the large network of patients who are visiting our hospitals, also very important. Thing that hospitals does for its employees, which most industries would not do, is that we provide hostels for our nurses. So beyond work, when they go back to their home is actually for most of them in the cities that we operate. So we have to also ensure that they are safe and secure beyond work. So almost for 24/7, as an organization, we are responsible for their safety and well-being.
I was also struck by your zero tolerance towards harassment. And, how do you ensure that such a thing operates well? Because one of the important elements is the psychological safety that allows people to be whistleblowers. You talked about the policy, but how do you ensure that the climate and the culture actually enable this?
Demonstrated to our employees that in case whenever there is a harassment case report against a women or anything to do with the safety of our women, I would say not just women, our POSH policy that we have revamped and relaunched last year is a gender neutral policy. So we would like to create that environment of safe for everyone. At a corporate HR level, we monitor these cases. We don't let them be decided at a unit level. So any case that is reported of harassment against a woman is reported to my office, or at least once a month. I fully review those cases with my compliance team, and we have to report it back to our senior leadership. These many cases were reported, these have been closed. Most of them, we take the most strict actions. Beyond just sexual harassment, like I said, we have ethics committee, and in today's world where social media, emails, WhatsApps are so prominent, we do get anonymous mails and anonymous complaints as well. We don't ignore them. We include them in our tracker, we investigate them, and then we take appropriate against those individuals if found guilty.
Mayank, you have worked in multiple kinds of organizations. You worked in large conglomerates, and now you've spent the last couple of years in healthcare. What is different about human resources professionals' life in a healthcare organization? What makes it different?
The first thing is that we are dealing with a spectrum of employees, which is, I don't think is there in any other industry. Like I said, right from a security guard who probably earns minimum wages as defined by law, to the senior most consultant who could be doing path-breaking work in robotics or abdominal. Two is that it's a very compliance-driven organization, right? There are NABH audits, there are JSI audits, there are NABL audits. So we are governed by various audits apart from the regular HR compliances that are non-negotiable in a listed entity like Apollo, like minimum wages, statutory. And I think the third is that how do you manage this power dynamics between very, very senior people and the junior most people? But our leadership is so unbiased, so focused. So our focus remains on our frontline warriors. And we've demonstrated that across more than 4 decades now in this industry.
The work that the healthcare professionals do is obviously extremely stressful because it's literally a question of life and death. I mean, many industries talk about the term loosely and they say it's life and death question, but healthcare is where it really is life and death. What do you do about ensuring the mental health? How do you build for that among the employees?
We do various initiatives. One is that we have a very robust L&D team. So we conduct regular sessions on emotional health, on mental well-being. Two is we tie up with external agencies. Like we have a regular sessions with the Brahma Kumari group coming in and talking about mental wellness, about how to keep peace with your own self, not get too hassled, not get too stressed. And third, of course, since we are a hospital, we have access to psychologists, psychiatrists. So God forbid if someone reaches that stage where you need a counselor to sit across the table and discuss a one-on-one, those resources are available for us in-house. And we do organize those sessions for our employees regular basis.
On a completely different aspect, you also offer self-defense classes, for the women employees. What triggered this conversation?
Link it to the genesis or the drive for the Pink Book. So we were doing great work for our women employees. Self-defense trainings were happening in some pockets of the organization. But we said it must happen in our entities, in all our hospitals. So what we do is, one, we tie up with the local police department for self-defense, for helpline services. And being a hospital, we have great rapport with all the police authorities and other legal. So we leverage our association with them, and we request this department to train us on self-defense. We also engage with a third-party martial art trainers who would come and train our women employees on self-defense.
And is this a popular offering that employees look forward to, or is it something that people are still getting used to? How do you describe it?
It's taken off really well. It's taken off really well, and especially when you get a notification that say a deputy commissioner, or a martial art expert is coming to train you. That creates the excitement. So it's not that some novice is training you on self-defense.
One other question is, you've got a bunch of initiatives. Like I, of course, was most intrigued by the Pink Book initiative, also your mental health initiatives, your self-defense initiatives. It's a fairly comprehensive program. How do you measure the effectiveness of that, and what do you measure? Is it only quantitative measures? Do you have qualitative measures?
Right. So what we do is we have created a tracker. If you keep it simple, it's done well. So we said these are the 15 things in an Excel sheet, and we get monthly inputs and reports from our units on what they have implemented and what is it that they need to implement. Because some of it is like CCTV cameras, security alarms would require CapEx investments. So this is the right time for us to do those planning and then implement some of these initiatives in our hospitals. One incident I would like to emphasize is that our Jubilee Hills Hospital in has 32 acres. We have a nursing hostel, we have a nursing college, we have a medical college, and we have a state-of-the-art tertiary care hospital in the same premises. So what we did is, after we launched the Pink Book, we increased the number of lights in our hospital area. We increased the number of security guards. So we don't hesitate to invest in any form of when it comes to the safety of our employees. I think the best part of my job is to get that smile on the faces of 50,000 employees that work for Apollo.
Thank you very much once again, Mayank. This was wonderful to hear from you about the way that you've thought of this initiative. It's a really creative approach, and appreciate your joining me. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, and namaste to everyone. Thank you.